Hello everybody, and welcome to the Halloween edition of Creative Kids Club. Today, my minion will be teaching you how to make bats.
All right, let's take a look at what's inside our packages this week. We'll have a stack of paper with one piece of watercolor. You'll have two black ones, an orangey one, a white, and a red. Then you will have a very small container of paint here. And you'll have something that looks like this. This is not a candy, this is a crayon. And you will have this, a bag of treats, because happy Halloween. We are going to do two different bat projects today. So for the first project, you need the paper, but not the watercolor paper, not the paint, and not the crayon. So you can set those aside for now. And you'll want to start with this one. So the first bat project we're doing is an origami bat. Our origami, of course, is paper folding. So you'll take your piece of paper, and we're going to do the same thing with this one as we do with the black ones. However, the black ones are construction paper, and that's a little heavier and harder to fold. So we're going to do this one first for practice, and then you can do the black ones. So the first step is to fold it from corner to corner, just like that. And just in one direction. And then you want to fold this up about a third of the way, but it's not important how much it is. This is making your wings, so kind of however big you want your wings to be. And you do that. Now you turn it over, and this part here, this is where the face is going to be. So we sort of decide how we want that face to look. So these two sides are going to fold down, and you can just fold them if you want, or you can make yourself some little lines to fold along. So I'm going to start mine up here, and I want to go not at this little corner here, but a little bit below it. So I'm going to do the same on this side. So they look relatively equal. They don't have to be identical, but that's relatively equal. So then we fold these back along that line. And you can turn it over, it makes it easier. I certainly think it makes it a little bit easier. So right now you'll have something that looks like this. So you want to go to this side, and these get folded back over again. So I'll show you the first one, and I'll show you how I got there. When you fold it back, this edge here should be parallel to this edge here. And if you don't know what parallel means, you can see it right here. They're running in the same direction, equal to each other right there. And you do the same on the other side. So you can see it went from looking like this to looking like that. And press them down a little bit, like that. And when you fold it back over, that is your basic bat. Now you can just leave it like that if you want. There is nothing wrong with leaving it just like that. But if you want to keep going, we have some more steps that we can do. And this is where you want to get your scissors out, the scissors you got in the first week. And we're going to do a few little cuts on here. The first one we're going to do is right along the top of the head to make it look like two little ears. So I just cut a little dip right there. And the second one we can do, if you want to keep going, is on the wings. And cut a couple little, you know what? I'm going to draw them first so you can see what I'm doing. Just do a couple of little curves on the bottom just to make it look like a bat wing. And then I can do the same on the other side. So again, you can leave it just like this if you want to, and I think that looks mighty bat-like. It'll look even more bat-like when it's black. But you also have a couple more pieces of paper. And what you can do with these is you can cut out, and I'm going to draw them first because it'll make it easier. Broke my pencil. A couple of eyes. And maybe this one is going to look like that, and this one's going to look this way. And then you cut those out. And you grab your glue, which is also from the first week, and you glue them on. There's my glue here. One. And better give him a second eye. And of course, there's nothing saying these eyes have to be the same size or looking in the same direction or in any way similar. Put a bit of glue on that one. I'm going to put that one right like that. So there's my eyes. And there's one more thing that we can do if we want to. And that is put some fangs on our vampire bat. And again, just using the white paper, or you can use your red paper for the eyes and the fangs if you would like. That is up to you. It is your bat. So I'm going to actually fold this before I cut it out. I'm just going to cut it out in kind of a V shape. I made mine a little curved, but you don't have to. Just need a little V. And sort of decide where we want our fangs to go. Now this guy's got some pretty big fangs there. But I kind of like them. So I'm going to glue those on as well. And there we have our origami bat. So it goes from, this is our basic bat, before we did any of the cuts or anything. Oh, that shifted a little bit. Need more glue. And there's our finished bat. So that is our first project. I'm going to move that aside. And again, once you master that one, you have 2 pieces of the black paper that you can make yourself some black bats with. So for the second one, you are going to need your piece of white watercolor paper. You're going to need your crayon. You're going to need your orange paint. And you're going to need your paintbrush. And that's from week 2, you got a paintbrush. You'll need just a little bit of water. We aren't going to need the water just yet, though. We start with the crayon. So we are going to do a crayon-resist bat painting. And what happens is everything that we draw with this crayon, if we paint over top of it, the paint will not stick to it. And the black is perfect for drawing bats. So let's see how to draw a bat. It's actually very easy. You start with a shape, a round shape, vaguely circular, just about like that. Then we put 2 little triangles for ears on it. And then for wings, we do 2 curves. 1 curve, 2 curve. And the same on the other side. 1 curve, 2 curves. Now for the bottom part, find approximately the middle of where your face is. I go down as far as you like. I'm going to go down to here and mark a little dot. And from that little dot, we want to make 3 curves between the dot and the edge here. 1, 2, 3. And the same on the other side. 1, 2, 3. So that is your basic bat shape. But for this project, you want to color the whole thing in black. And the reason we're doing this is for the resist part of it. We don't want any of the paint in our bat, so we want the whole thing to be black. And just take your time, make sure it's all filled in there. And we don't just have to draw one bat. You can fill your entire page with bats if you want to. There's one bat, and I think I'm going to do a crayon on my fingers. Good idea to have a piece of paper towel or something nearby. I don't. You should. And I'm going to do another bat here. Ears, 2 curves, a bottom point, and 3 curves. And we'll color him as well. Now, if you're not sure about drawing the bat part, you can just practice that. Just grab a piece of paper and grab your pencil. It can even be your scrap of paper that you used earlier, and try it. Circle, triangle, triangle, 2 curves, 2 curves, a dot, and 3 curves. And there you have your bat. So I'm going to stick with just the 2 on this one for right now, so I can show you the next step. You can put as much on here as you want to. Just make sure you leave some space to paint on. So you want to take your container of paint. Now this is watercolor paint, so you don't use it just like this, because it looks like a very small amount of paint. You have to mix this with water before you use it. So I've got a little bit of water here, and you can put the water right in this container. I'm going to start with just a little bit. You don't want to start with too much, because it's a lot easier to put more than to take some out. And you mix that all up with that paint that's in your container. It should make a nice orange paint. Now, if you're doing this long after you got the package and the paint in your container has gotten dry, that's okay. It's watercolor paint, so even dry, when you put the water in, it'll start mixing. It might take a little bit longer, but it will still work. So now I've got some nice orange paint in here. And I'm not going to put any more water. I think I like it like this. And I start putting it everywhere, right across the whole thing. And you can see how it does not stick to the crayon. This works with crayons. It also works with oil pastels if you have those. And not just black crayon, of course. It'll work with any color of crayon. And it's because that paint will not stick to the wax. So that's how this works. So we can get a nice orange Halloween sky with bats flying in it. Now, if you have a set of crayons at home or oil pastels that you want to try this with in different colors, maybe you want to draw a bat in front of the moon, or you could draw some ghosts in there if you have a white crayon, or a haunted house somewhere. But I like my black bats because today's projects are all about the bats. Now with watercolor, you want to give it time to dry because it will soak into the paper. You can see how the paper is starting to curve like this. It's soaking the water in. And the paint will move around and it'll be dark in some places and light in others. And that's kind of how we want it. So that's how I'm going to do mine. And I'm going to let it sit like that. So that is our second bat project for our Halloween-y bat experience. I hope you had fun with me today, and happy Halloween!